What's up guys, welcome back to episode 5 of the E36 13B Ute build series. I'm having an awesome time with this build. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Thanks guys again for the support that you've shown so far. Jordan's back.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome back to another video.
Yeah.
36 again.
So excited. But I'm also not that excited because unfortunately we've just gone back to stage 4, pretty much military style lockdown here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, which is really sad. Basically means it's the last day me and Jordan will be hanging out, building the car together for 6 weeks, and then it's just gonna be me here by myself in the factory doing work. I'm borderline just allowed to do that basically. It's a pretty dire situation here, just here in Victoria. It's pretty sad, but it's all for a good cause because we want to get better and get back to being able to go and do normal things in life and go drifting. So fingers crossed the next 6 weeks pays off. Also, I'm filming on my brand new Canon G7X Mark II thanks to Jordan as well. He heavily influenced me and even picked this camera up for me, so it's pretty rad. But E36, engine's in the engine bay, and as you can see, it's on the hoist for the first time. Basically what we plan to do right now is get it in the air, and we're going to assess underneath, just make sure that the engine is exactly where we want it. We still want to lower the right hand side just a little bit to get it sitting perfectly level, and then we're going to make the gearbox cross member. We're going to put the slave cylinder that I have here onto the gearbox, and a bunch of other small little things. I don't know, we're kind of winging it, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got to do some guard chopping as well.
Oh yeah, make some clearance for the wheels.
About that much lock.
That's as much lock as we have at the moment.
Yeah.
When you decide to have giant wheels, you've unfortunately got to make the space for those wheels. I'm not gonna lie, we did rush here to film a video for the last day together before these restrictions kick in, so we are kind of winging it, but it's all good. And I have all the parts. You guys will be pumped about this. I have everything on the way right now to potentially be able to start this car maybe next week, which is freaking exciting. But I'm again having to rush around a little bit to try and make sure that I get everything that I need because all the stores are closing. So I need to make sure I have all the oils I need, ECU's on the way, starter motor's on the way. I've got to get the wiring diagrams and stuff, but yeah. Oh, also, one thing that we have figured out that my good friend Tyrone from England, shout out, he also drives. Well, he did drive a purple E36 until he's decided to upgrade it, and I don't know what color it's going to be now, but he's told us that we can actually flip the steering shaft so that all the chunky bits are up here and the skinny bits are down here so that we don't have any issues with the steering and the exhaust. I'm really pumped about that. Thank you, Tyrone. You're an absolute legend. You're a bit of a dosser, but right, so we're going to do that as well. So I'm excited, but let's get the car in the air and kind of see where we're at underneath first. Push the button. Like half off, a little wiggle. We've flipped the steering shaft, so now we have all of this room down here and the big chunky boys up top. So shout out Tyrone for that advice because it helped a buttload, which is awesome. And now we're just pretty much finessing the engine mounts, kind of making them look nice, chopping them down a little bit, shifting the left hand side engine mount like slightly lower so the engine sits lower, and then we're going to actually drill the holes through and put the bolts through so that the engine's actually where it needs to be. So just little things.
Who would have thought a rotary would fit in an E36?
So well too.
Yeah. Anyway, these are chopped out, so we've got some clearance in here, and we can, you know, kind of turn the wheel. Still hits on the chassis rail just here. So we need to like notch that down there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it and then put a plate in there, maybe.
Alrighty, so the whole idea was drill a hole through our engine mounts that are welded to the chassis of the car. Then we literally just slip a bolt through, a nylock bolt down the bottom, and that is the engine mounted in the car officially. So simple setup, but it works. So it's not stupid if it works. It's mad, so good. It comes out in 3 bits. Look at that, done.
Sick. We're officially mounted. 3 days later.
Huh?
3 days later.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work putting an engine in the car. So, our engine is bolted in. Now it's time to do the gearbox crossmember. I'm not excited because this stuff isn't really exciting to do. It's just a pain in the ass, but you have to do it. But everything's just so perfectly situated in here, which I'm stoked about.
Those engine mounts, the bolt.
Need to chop the bolt down, but you know, it does what it needs to do. So the gearbox crossmember is going to be super simple. Here's where the stock line will bolt up. So we're going to keep that mounting position, literally just a piece of plate. It's flat from here. So we're just going to run a piece of plate flat to where the RX-8 gearbox will bolt up, right? A couple of holes to go through these 2 bolts pointing out of the gearbox, and then we're going to come down on an angle and then flat to the other stock mounting point. It's very simple. So unfortunately, the welding wire that I bought for my gasless MIG is some real weird stuff. So when I'm welding, it kind of just, when it cools down, cracks and breaks. I think I might have gotten the wrong welding wire. It is a different brand from what I usually use, so that's worrying. So we couldn't complete the gearbox crossmember, which is fine. I'll come back tomorrow and continue on with that when I buy some new welding wire. After tomorrow, all of the shops shut for 6 weeks, so I'll try and get as many supplies as I possibly can to continue the build by myself. So I still need to pull the engine mounts off, paint them, and paint the actual bay where we've done the mounts. I'm also going to re-weld the mounts as well because I use this welding wire to weld the mounts, and that has me a little bit worried. So I'll grind them back, re-weld them just to make sure that they're safe, paint them, and it's all going to come up super nice. So yeah, I put the slave cylinder in, so that's bolted up right here, super accessible, which is really nice. And the stock lines connected to the stock lines on the E36, so the clutch is completely done, which is really nice. That's one thing out of the way. That's the end of today for us. It's freezing cold, absolutely crapping down outside with rain. Jordan's just adjusting the height of his beautiful R33 Skyline. But I'll see you guys probably tomorrow where we continue on with our build. Hopefully it's a little warmer. Jordan's gonna be gone for 6 weeks. Goodbye, Jordan.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. It's so sad. Shout out to coronavirus for mucking a lot of our plans up this year. But it is what it is. I'll see you guys in the morning. What's up, fam? We are back another day. I'm here on my lonesome, of course, because we are now in stage 4 lockdown. I'm really lucky that I can even come to the factory by myself, but we're gonna keep cracking on with the E36. I went out and I grabbed some new welding wire so we can actually stick metal together properly without it breaking. So I definitely got the wrong welding wire before. So this hard facing stuff that I got, apparently not the right stuff, so rookie mistake, but it is what it is. We've got the new stuff, so we're gonna continue on creating this gearbox crossmember. I'm also going to re-weld the welds on the engine mounts to make sure that they don't break off, because of course that would be a terrible thing. So once we've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and dog leg our shifter. So we'll install it, and the dog leg basically means that it's got the curve on the shifter that dog legs back, because our shifter currently obviously is not in the correct position. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I think we're also going to install the drive shaft because I managed to get that done quickly before lockdown as well, which is crazy. I also have a bunch of really exciting stuff over here in the corner. I went shopping before all of the shops closed and got, I'm not going to tell you quite yet exactly what I got, but it's going to be really cool over the next couple of weeks to continue to progress with this car, and it's going to take its final form, let's say, which is really sick. So the videos are going to continue, which is exciting, because I was afraid for a second that I may let you guys down with the content over 6 weeks with not being able to film, but you know, you got to take the positives where you can. Also really exciting, I'm going live with Jake Jones this Wednesday, the 12th of August on my YouTube. So Jake Jones, aka Drift Squid, an absolute monster when it comes to drifting, has the RB28 BMW M3, which is nuts. Also has the Sunvia with an RB25 turbo on it. So we're just going to be talking a whole lot of crap, to be honest. Just talking about his drifting career, what got him into drifting, all that type of stuff. We get on really well. He's a very cool dude, so make sure you tune into that. It'll be probably about 8 PM, August the 12th. Wednesday. But anyway, let's get cracking. I'm gonna get the car back up in the air. I'm gonna continue on with this Gearbox crossmember. Pretty keen to get this all mounted up. Obviously this video is probably not gonna be as entertaining as fitting wide body and coilovers and wheels, but at the same time, this is stuff that is super necessary when you are building a car that isn't supposed to be the way it is with the engine and the Ute stuff. So yeah, let's get cracking. Freezing here, but I've been grinding away. We have our cross member. I re-welded this weld because it was obviously not good with the old welding wire, but the new welding wire is good. And as you can see, the gearbox is being supported currently by the cross member, even just as it is on one side. And then we've got our other piece here, and with this piece, right, we have just put a slit in it, but not all the way through, so that we can bend it, and then we'll go ahead and weld right through there. Okay, that sits right here, look at that, and then welds to that right there, and that's our gearbox cross member. And then obviously we put holes that line up with the bolt holes, the stock bolt holes, and that's it, done. Another bolt right here, and the gearbox is all nicely mounted. Wasn't too difficult to do really. And then obviously we'll give it a lick of paint after we've welded it and bolted it all up properly. And then we can chuck the drive shaft in, see if that all works, which is super exciting. And that's our whole drive line done. Gearbox cross member is painted and in. Also, our drive shaft is in. Drivetrain technically, if the car was running, should drive now. So that's rad. Pretty stoked with that. So now we can let it down. We're just gonna do the shifter and we'll see where we're at after that. Yew! I hope you guys like my gearbox jack. It's literally like a roll of like that cardboard stuff that the vinyl comes in, and my jack just allows me to get the gearbox up and down when I want to take the cross member off. Yeah! Hey, if it works, it's not stupid, I think. Alrighty folks, so we're currently doing the dogleg shifter. As you can see, I've already welded part of it onto the stock shifter, just chopped it off, and I've just welded it here, so it shifts gears. Next up, we've got the other part of the dogleg. So I've marked it up, literally chop them off, weld it obviously nice in line, straight to there, and that is the dogleg shifter. Wherever we're happy with the height, I'll weld the stock thread on, and then we can put the shift knob on. And then once you put this over the stock shift boot, you'll hopefully not really notice a difference between that and stock, which is super rad. So I'm gonna go ahead, cut that, get it done, chuck it all in and see how it looks. Ring, ding, 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 ding. Bang, bang. Wait a minute, no dose, there's no turbo. Maybe. Alrighty, so it's been a pretty long day. If I look tired, it's because I am, but I've made a lot of progress. Here is our shifter. As you can see, dogleg. I gave it a quick lick of paint. We've got the thread on the top now as well, so we can go ahead and install it. It's not pretty, but you know, like the rest of the build, it's gonna do the job hopefully pretty well. So we'll chuck it in for the final time. Monumental. Should just sit in its slot somehow, maybe. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and chuck the rest of the assembly together. It's got a little top plate with a reverse lockout and stuff as well, so it definitely needs that on. Boom, so we've got a little top plate. It's got this rubber seal on it. Chuck this on. Slide this bad boy over. Boom. Shift knob. Obviously we will put a nicer shift knob on at some point, but this will do for now. I may look at getting a short shift kit for this thing because the throw is pretty long, but there we have it. 5th, 6th, whoop, up, up, up. And then of course push down, reverse. Boom. That is sick. That is it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Obviously it's a little bit of tedious work, but that's what it takes to put something like a 13B into an E36. Engine mounts are all bolted in. Obviously the gearbox is all bolted in, tail shaft is in, our shifter is in, and it's starting to look a bit more like a car on the inside, which is freaking awesome. So really, like I said, if we could start it right now, we could drive it right now, which is crazy exciting. The ECU for this car arrives next week. It's being sent on Monday, which is awesome. I'll explain a little bit more about that when it comes, and then of course I need to wire in the engine to the car, which doesn't seem like it's going to be too complicated. And then hopefully maybe next week we can start the car, which would be really, really cool as well. The only thing that may hinder our progress is the fact that we are in a complete lockdown and all the shops are closed, so getting stuff like fuel line and stuff is very difficult. Not impossible though, so we'll see how we go. But before we do finish up in this video, I've got a little something special over here. So just before we went into this full lockdown, I panicked on the last day and went ahead and bought everything that we need to paint this car. So I went and bought a compressor, spray gun, primer, paint, everything we need. The color, the paint is in this tin. I'm not going to reveal the color to you guys, but it is freaking awesome and super exciting. So basically, now that I've gotten this far with the mechanical side of things on the car, I'm going to get back into the bodywork because there's just so much bodywork to be done. Obviously, making everything look super smooth with all this stuff. The wide body all needs to be fixed up and made to look nice. So there's quite a few days just in the bodywork itself. Obviously it doesn't need to look perfect, but at the same time, you know, spending all the money on the paint and everything, we may as well take the time with the bodywork to get it as nice as possible. We're going to set up a makeshift booth right here in the workshop, pick a nice warm day, there's a couple coming up, and we're going to paint the car, so that's really exciting. Put your guess for the color in the comments below. Whoever guesses first, I'm going to send out a couple of free products from my business, Two Step Garage. Check it out right here. You can buy yourself a bunch of different automotive parts. Whoever wins, I'll send out some freebies, as well as a Lakeside Co t-shirt. So chuck your guess in the comments below. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button. If you aren't subscribed, jump on board. And of course, remember we do have that chat with Jake Jones, aka Drift Squid, coming up this Wednesday, probably around 8 PM, Wednesday the 12th of August. So make sure you tune in live to check that one out, guys. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Follow me on Instagram, @It'sMikeBlake. Cheers, guys. Peace.